It's Robert Eagleson here with the Calgary Hook and Hackle Club, and today I'm going to do my version of Mitch's sedge. It's a Mikulak Sedge. Mitch Mikulak was from Calgary, Alberta. Tied this fly to fish in the Kamloops area all the way down to Duck Lake. What I like about this fly is that it gives my opinion, a better caddis profile than my standard elk hair caddis. It seems like when I tie the elk hair caddis, the body flares too much for me, and I like this one because I can keep a lower profile. All right, so I'm going to start this now by putting a standard shank size 12 dry fly hook in here. Maybe noteworthy that Mitch actually used a 9672, which is like a 2XL wet fly hook, but I'm using the dry fly hook here just to help it float. A little lighter wire. I've got a 70 denier thread in a tan, and I'm just going to start that and bring it back to the bend. Find my scissors and clip that off. Okay, now tail and well, the fly is is using elk hair. So I'm using yearling elk body hair in a natural color. You can advantage this fly is you can make it any color you like, just using different colored elk hair. So this is fairly long hair, and I'm going to take just a bit of hair here. So you can see I've got about, I don't have a lot of hair here, and then I'm just going to clip it from the base. And then I have to clean it, so I'm just going to hold it by the tips. Hold it by the tips, and then I will just pull a bunch of this fuzz and the shorter hairs out. So I'm left with, not an awful lot of hair. I'm going to have to stack that, and when I'm stacking just small amounts of deer hair or elk hair, I like to use a smaller hair stacker. So I'll just place those hairs in there, tap them nice and even, and when you pull them out, because these are so long hairs, you can actually just pull them right from the top. Okay, so I've got my my elk hair here now. I want to measure that. I want it just slightly longer than the hook shank here, and then I'm going to give it one wrap. Throw that thread back between my thumb and index finger, pull it down, cinch it up now, and I'm going to give it 2 or 3 reasonably tight wraps there. Then I'm just going to clip the excess. Okay, once I've got that there now, I'm just going to bind those down nice. Bring my thread back to about the bend, and then I'm going to put some dubbing on. So I'm using it's Superfine in a brown color. So its camera seems to make it a little darker than it is, but it's actually a fairly light brown color. And you don't want to use too much dub. Most new tires use way too much dub. So we're just going to make a really thin noodle. And we'll start the dubbing back on that bend. And we just want to make a thin body up. And it's just a touch more body. I'm going to come up to about halfway up that shank. Alright, that should be enough here. We're just going to bring that up to about halfway up the shank. And then we're going to take just another little bunch of elk. About the same amount as I used last time. So we'll just grab that by the tips. And then we'll just pull out the shorter hairs and the fuzz back in the hair stacker. Tap it down, pull it out, and we want to put these hairs about the same length as the previous set. So a couple wraps there, cinch it down good. Let's just lift and clip these off. And I'll get those butts down, and then we'll wrap back. Have a soft wrap up over top just to kind of push those down. And a little more dubbing. So it's important that you hold those when we're sitting down. We don't want a lot of hairs on the bottom side of that fly. You got to keep your hair up on the top side. So we're just going to wrap that dubbing back down over top of that hair, and that kind of keeps it pushed down. Okay, we're up to about the eye there, and we're going to take our final bit of elk. Clip that off. Same situation here, we'll just grab the tips, pull out all the short and fuzz, back in the stacker. And you could just grab them from the top here, pull them out nice and even. And looks like I got one wild one there, we'll get rid of that one. So we're going to measure that to about the same length. And we'll loose wrap, and then we'll wrap back, cinch those down good. And then we'll just come in and clip those off. Now, Mitch used to make a little tuft out the front. I don't do that. So let's... Okay, so we'll bring our thread back now. Softer wraps to push those down. Okay, now we need a hackle, and I'm using just brown saddle hackle here. So this is just a brown saddle hackle. You want to prepare that feather by stripping the feathers off of a little more fibers off the front than you do on the, so this is going to be the leading edge as it wraps around. This will be the trailing edge. I want more fibers off that leading edge. So we're going to take our hackle and we'll just kind of place it in there. And we'll give it a few wraps right up into there. And we'll just clip that butt. And one final bit of dubbing here. Okay, so we'll just dub back on those elk hairs to force them back Yeah, just a touch more dubbing. That looks pretty good. Alright, so once we've got our feather then, we're going to bring that around so the dark side, shiny side of the feather is facing forward. So there's one wrap. Just want to space it a little bit. There's 2 wraps. A little bit more. There's 3 wraps. And then I just want to tie this off. So I'm leaving space at the head. And we're just going to, you know what, let's just back this up. Sorry. I'm just going to try this again and leave a little room at the head. There we go. That's better. Okay, just going to clip this off. And then I'm going to try to find my whip finisher here. And we're just going to give this a whip finish. And we're going to seat that, make sure it's seated well, and then clip that off. Alright, so I got a couple wild hairs here. I don't want those. Clip those off. And then I'm just going to, oops, because I got a elk hair in the bottom there. I don't want that either. Pull that out of there. Here we go. Now we're just going to clip this, all this right off the bottom. So what that's going to do is just help that fly land the way it's supposed to land. Keep it right side up. And there you go, my version of Mikulak Sedge. And as I said, what I like about this pattern is that I like the profile better than the regular elk hair caddis. Floats well. The Superfine dubbing has a floatant built into it. Clipping the bottom of that hackle makes it sit on the water a little lower profile. Anyway, that's my version of Mikulak Sedge. Thanks for watching.